Sewers and drains are undoubtedly a vital part of any human community. Life without these would be really difficult for the modern people. Especially with our growing population, the sewage and waste disposal system ensures that the immense amount of waste we produce goes down safely. If it weren't for this infrastructure, our streets would stink and disease outbreaks would be much more frequent. While the sewers mostly contain refuse and waste, sometimes people come across strange things in the underground sewage and drain system. In today's video, we'll tell you all about 15 of the strangest things found in sewers, so make sure to watch till the end and give this video a thumbs up. Sewer alligator. The 12-year-old named Hannah Saylor was in for a terrifying surprise as she went around searching for a missing cat around her home in Mississippi back in 2019. Everyone knows how terrible you feel when your beloved pet gets lost. The poor child was already worried about her cat when she stumbled upon a pair of frightening yellow eyes peering at her from the sewer outside her home. But these weren't her cat's eyes. In fact, what she saw was a menacing alligator that was hiding in the dark sewer. Hannah recognized the animal and ran to her house screaming at the top of her lungs. When her neighbors heard her screams, they went out and inquired what was wrong. As expected, even though they were shocked to see the huge alligator in the sewer, they contacted the authorities and animal control workers immediately arrived to remove the reptile from the sewer. The gator looked like it wasn't an adult yet, although a young gator can be as dangerous as a mature one. We don't know if Hannah found her cat or not, but after a close call with an alligator, she's lucky to be safe. War Cannonball. Workers were clearing out a sewer like in Perry County back in 2013 when they were left awestruck by a dangerous discovery. They found soothing metallic and hollow inside the sewer. They had no idea what it was, so they flushed the surrounding debris with water and used a bright light to examine the metal object. They were shocked when they realized that it was a cannonball dating back to the Civil War era. The workers were excited by the discovery as the cannonball was, after all, historically significant. They found it more than 150 years after the war had ended. They were definitely not expecting to unearth a well-preserved cannonball in the sewer. Unfortunately, even today, we don't know how this cannonball ended up in the sewer. Car found in sewer. Hurricane Katrina is considered among some of the most devastating natural disasters to ever hit the United States. Decades after its landfall, people came across the marks left behind by the catastrophic hurricane in some states. Like in 2019, the residents of New Orleans woke up to a surprise. 2 whole cars were found in the underground drainage system of the city and were retrieved by the authorities. One of the cars was apparently lost during the 2005 storm and had been clogging the drain system ever since. The cars were whole but not in good shape. Both the vehicles had been squashed and were covered with gunk. Although the discovery of these cars prompted local authorities to search other drainage canals too, and they probably found more lost items in the Swansea system over the years. Newborn baby. Back in 2018, the city called Jinhua in China was left horrified by what was discovered in a sewer. The authorities made history when they rescued a newborn baby from the sewer pipe of an apartment building. The baby had been born just a few hours ago and even its placenta was attached to it. Each section of the pipe was carefully cut to ensure the child's safety. The pipe had a diameter of just 3 inches. They had to be very careful while cutting the part of the pipe covering the baby's head. An apartment tenant had called the landlord about a strange noise coming from the pipes, but later it was found that this tenant was in fact the child's mother. She claimed that she had accidentally given birth to the baby on the toilet and flushed it, but most people didn't buy the story. After removing the baby boy from the pipe, the rescuers took him to the hospital for emergency care. The child was incredibly resilient and recovered soon. Lost wedding ring. Rings are probably one of the things that end up falling down drains more than anything. They're barely 16 millimeters across and are hard to find amongst the gunk and debris in the sewers. This is what happened to Sarah Wolf, who dropped her wedding ring in the drain. She had little hope of finding it again, but she was in luck. A worker cleaning the sewer near the Minnesota community where Sarah lived discovered her ring. According to him, he was passing by a utility hole that was open when a small shimmering object attracted his attention. He realized it was a precious ring, so he reached down and retrieved it. And with the help of the community's Facebook page, the ring found its way back to Sarah after 1 whole year. The ring was coated in gunk from being down there for so long, so the elated Sarah sent it to Shane & Company for cleaning, who gifted her an engraved necklace. They also rewarded the honest sewer worker who returned the ring. Rolex haul. A drainage cleaner could not believe his eyes when he discovered 4 luxury watches while working in Essex in 2012. The worker, named Aaron, had cleaned the drain near Chalkwell railway station when he discovered a Rolex mixed with the gunk. He took the watch to the nearest police station only to find out the watch wasn't registered, so he was allowed to keep the watch if no one claimed it. But the owner of the yellow gold Rolex Oyster Perpetual Cosmograph did arrive at the station a few days later. He reported that his deceased wife had gifted him the watch. It was allegedly one of the items that were taken from his home by a robber. The owner of the watch was grateful to Aaron and gave him a reward. Aaron actually discovered 3 more watches, but they were not authentic. Missing cow. Here's what no one expects to find in a sewer: a cow. But in the Fujian province of eastern China, this is exactly what happened. In 2010, the villagers were shocked to find a cow staring up at them from the sewer. No one knows how long the cow had been stuck down there before someone saw her. Fortunately, she seemed alright, and the locals only noticed her when they heard her moping sounds. When they discovered the cow, the locals gave her water and fed her grass. Eventually, her owner arrived to rescue her. She was lifted out from the sewer using a makeshift wrench. The animal was pretty calm when it was being taken out. Once outside, she just walked away and began grazing. Millions of dollars worth of gold. Switzerland's banks aren't the only places overflowing with gold. Their sewers seem to be equally full. Scientists have claimed that around $1.8 million worth of gold enters the wastewater of Switzerland and ends up in the sewers annually. This nation's trash actually turned out to be treasure, but there's no point in going treasure hunting down there as there are extremely small specks of gold in the Swiss sewage. It would require a lot of filters and even more endurance to find the gold. The flecks are remains of the valuable gold refining industries of Switzerland. There's also specks of silver and other rare earth metals produced by the medical and technological companies in these sewers. The fatburg. What you see in the image is called a fatburg. These are like icebergs, but they're not made of ice. In fact, they are huge chunks made of solid waste. These are incredibly pungent. Fatburg is a British term, and over the last few decades, several of these have been found in England and other European countries. In 2017, the sewage cleaners reported finding a fatburg in London weighing around 130 tons. It was composed of sanitary products and cooking fats. Then again, in 2019, the workers had to remove a huge 40-ton fatburg, almost the size of a double-decker bus, from another London sewer. They used high-powered hoses to break down the filthy, smelly mass. Once it was softened, they picked it by hand to clean the sewers. Pulsating sewer monster. What initially looked like a huge pulsating heart turned out to be massive creatures entangled with each other. The strange worm-like monster was reportedly witnessed in several sewers all around the globe, but most sightings have occurred in the United States. When the video of this monster hit the internet, people came up with all sorts of conspiracy theories about it. Some thought that the pulsating mass was an alien heart, while others thought it was some sort of a mutant monster. But in reality, it was a worm colony. Tube effect worms that form these colonies are mostly harmless, but visually they are horrifying. Sheep stuck in manhole. Sheep are known for being the most absent-minded mammals, and for good reason. That's probably why when a surveyor discovered a sheep in an open manhole in England, he was not at all surprised. He immediately called for help to get the poor animal out of the sewer. The animal was pretty unbothered by its circumstances. No one knew how it ended up in the hole to begin with or how long it had been down there, but it wasn't injured and was eventually reunited with the flock thanks to the rescuer. Bear-sized rat. Insects, worms and rats are known as sewer dwellers. According to reports, almost 1.6 million rats live in the sewers around the globe. However, Mexico City won for housing the most horrifying and largest rat in its sewers. Workers cleaning the community drain in Mexico City were shocked to see a bear-sized rat in the sewer back in 2020. The animal was claimed to be bigger than an average adult human, and several men had to work together to pull it out. They gave the rat a quick roadside shower, and after the gunk was washed out, they realized there was no reason to be scared of it. That's because the bear-sized rat was a prop belonging to a local and had washed away in the storm. Dinosaur fossils. Canadian workers discovered a dinosaur fossil back in 2010 while they were digging inside a sewer located in Edmonton, Canada. It wasn't a whole dinosaur though. What the workers found were huge chunks of dinosaur bones in the sewage. They contacted the authorities and the dinosaur bones were retrieved from the sewer. Many dinosaur bones had been previously discovered in Alberta, Canada, but no one could have guessed that the next ones would be found in the sewage system. The bones belong to two famous dinosaurs according to experts. These dinosaurs were the Tyrannosaur, officially called Albertosaurus, and the Hadrosaur Edmontosaurus, and scientists believe they lived 70 million years ago. Flushed away snake. An animal popping out of the toilet is everyone's worst nightmare, but this has actually happened to some people in real life. In 2017, a coniferous sewage plant worker was baffled by what he discovered. He actually found a writhing snake in a sewer system. Snakes are a common sight in many places, but these slithering reptiles were known for frequenting this particular area. The worker realized that the 4-foot-long snake was probably someone's pet. Another reason he thought it was a pet was because it was a corn snake, which is native to North America and has become a popular pet in the UK. The reptiles probably wandered into the sewer pipes in search for rodents and then got washed away by water into the container full of human waste. Mole people of Las Vegas. Vegas is popular as Sin City because of its nightlife and gambling scene. When people hear Las Vegas, the visual that forms in their minds is parties, food, entertainment and pleasure. But underneath the glitz and glamour lies a completely opposite world. The people cast away by society in the city spend most of their time in the dark, cave-like tunnels. They are called the Mole people of Las Vegas, and they live in the 600 miles of tunnels underneath the city. More than 1,500 people live in these tunnels. The rent for an apartment in the city begins at $1,500 and continues to grow. People with steady jobs don't have a problem renting an apartment, but the ones who have less income have no choice but to live in the tunnels. The residents of the tunnels have heartbreaking stories involving mental health issues, broken families, addiction, and more. They hide in the crevices of the tunnels in order to stay safe inside the sewage system of the city. We hope you enjoyed learning about these mysterious sewer finds. Tell us in the comments which ones fascinated you the most. We'll be back soon with another video. Until then, have a great time and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.